Good morning, my name is Sally Ibbotson and I'm a Shiatsu practitioner and a Qigong teacher here in Forres in Scotland. This video is to present some self-care techniques for what's known as the triple burner or triple heater system in the body according to Chinese medicine. We can assist the fluid regulation in our bodies, immunity, and so anything like swelling or immune deficiency would be treated through the triple burner channel. For more theory about this, please see my website. So to self-massage the triple burner, I use a Jinshin Jiatsu protocol of holding different parts of the body known as sacred sites. And so the first one is the upper dantian or upper energy center, which is literally in the center of the forehead. And it's a chakra as well in the Indian tradition. So in between the eyebrows and up a little bit, you may feel an indentation. And there's no need to be too accurate about it. And try and feel into where your hand needs to land. And make that connection. Now the second site, and we do a flow here so we connect each site, is in the crook of the elbow on the thumb side. And so here's the position that you need to be in, holding the upper dantian in the centre of the forehead and also the crook of the elbow. And feel that connection energetically. And when I say that, you could imagine a light or a colour streaming from the centre of the forehead to the crook of the elbow there. Focusing only on the connection between those 2 points, using the method of mindfulness and focusing on one thing. How long to stay here? If you're a practitioner and you're used to doing energy work or self-massage, you may feel a slight pulse. But if not, then I think just move on when it feels right for you. Now the third site is actually the back of the neck in general, so holding the back of the neck here, the neck spine. But I'd like to keep connection with the elbow, so it's a little awkward, but I'm putting my fingers into the crook of the elbow like so and holding the neck spine, and you can support the elbow there as well. And again, feel that energetic connection between the neck and the crook of the elbow, however you feel it. Either in a tactile way or using imagination. And then keeping hold of the back of the neck, hold the lower rib cage there. Lower rib cage. So feel the base of the rib cage and put your hand over as if your hands and fingers were mirroring the rib bones, the ribs there. And feel the energetic connection, maybe light streaming from palm to palm, from the neck to the lower hand. And then take the hand that was on the neck and simply wrap the arm around the waist at the back. And you can do all this seated. Feel the connection between the lower rib cage and the lumbar spine, particularly a point in the middle of the waist at the back, as it were. So our next movement is towards the sitting bones. So feel the top of the thigh bone at the back, wherever you feel that you might sit, the sitting bones. And again, it's not necessary to be too accurate. And feel the connection between the lumbar spine and the top of the leg there, the sitting bone. And slightly tuck the tail under if you So if you imagine that you have a tail extending down from the tailbone into the earth, straight down, that will tip the pelvis slightly, activating the lower energy centers. And now here's a slightly awkward movement, and again you can do this sitting, but just cross the feet so that the toes go near the outside ankle bone. So the place that you're heading for is the outside ankle bone here and down, so underneath the pointy bit of the outside ankle bone. And so you have one hand on the sitting bone and the other foot is kind of wrapped around. And if that's not possible for you, then just feel, you could imagine little rootlets going down through the outside ankle bone. So connect with the outside ankles. So if it's not possible for you to actually connect like this, yeah, then visualizing rootlets going down through the outside ankles. And with the other hand, connecting with your ring finger. So this is the position you do, your thumb on the nail of the ring finger. And tuning into a connection between your ring finger and your ankles. So it's a question of imagining shapes or directions or flows of light. And you can also hold the ring finger, so if it's more comfortable, just settle in that position. So that's a static flow, a self-massage for the triple burner. And we can do all that with Qigong as well. And so if we come up again, and I assume that you have done a gentle warm-up, some yoga or something. And so if we come up the front of the body, we again find that area which is often known as the upper dantian, the upper energy center. It's one of the chakras, the third eye. And I usually like to come into horse stance, which is like riding a short fat pony. And then we take, as if shooting a bow and arrow. So one hand goes out as if there's the arrow holder and the other one comes the other way. And then you sweep the hands down and you gather earthy energy up the front of the body to the third eye again, and then you do the same thing. And you're gazing at the horizon where you're looking. So let your eyes extend outwards. Up the front of the body. And you don't have to do the horse stance. You can do it in just a normal standing position. And feel that area expanding as you look out, as you take your intention into the distance. Being nourished by the earthy energy that flows up the front of your body. And you can use the breath, so following the in-breath and then following the out-breath. That's your pace, your natural rhythm of breathing, no forcing anything. We'll just do one more, but you can do it for longer. This is just a coaching video. And then come to stand like this. And so the web of your thumb and index finger is in the crook of your elbow, and feel into that connection. Still in horse stance if it's okay for you. And tuck the chin in to open the back of the neck, that area that we were holding earlier. And simply move the neck from one side to the other. And as you do so, gazing as if you were a prey animal on a savanna, and you can see all the horizon and you are waiting for lunch to appear. So you know it's there, you're not grasping, you're just letting the eyes softly gaze into the distance, giving your body and mind the suggestion of space. But be sure to keep the chin tucked in so the neck spine gets a really nice opening. And you can always come out of horse stance. Sweep around, and I'm going to come out of horse stance and let the hands be opposite the lower rib cage, like so, with a little distance between them. And simply breathing with the lungs, mimicking with your hands what's happening with the lungs. So breathing in, and the hands come out, and breathing out, and the hands come towards the body. I'll say that again. So breathing in, and breathing out. And use imagination, seeing that the fingers are a little like the lower ribs. So imagining that the lower ribs see something outside themselves that looks like them. And so they want to reach the hands. It's an image that encourages biomagnetism, so that you expand in the lower rib region, breathing in and then breathing out. And then turn the hands over and think of a point at the back of your waist in the centre. The back of your waist in the centre. And imagine that you are standing in warm, beautiful, salty water, health-giving water, up to that level. And just swirl around like so, as if your hands were buoyantly held on the body of water, and turning as far as possible from that point at the back of the waist in the centre of the lumbar spine. Extremely good for the kidneys as well, for both the image and the movement. Feel the kidneys being massaged as you squeeze them slightly here, and washed with the image. And coming back to the centre again, like so, and taking the hands down momentarily. And here's the next movement. Your thumb is like an acupuncture needle, and it's sticking out slightly. And when you take it round to the back in the next movement, it's pointing towards the sitting bone there. And here's what we do. Pointing towards the sitting bone, and one hand shifts towards the sky. And then you turn your neck as if you could see that hand behind you, even if you can't. And then you bring it back to the lower rib cage. And then you go again. So here you are, tucking the chin in, pushing to sky with one hand, turning as if you can see the lower hand, and the lower hand is pointing towards the sitting bone. And then both hands come back to that lower rib cage area. That lower rib cage area, good for integration. Thinking mostly about the thumb, sending chi into the sitting bone area. Lovely. And then sending your ring finger, thinking about your ring finger, and extend it forward like this a little bit so it's accentuated. So thinking about the ring finger and bending over with the knees coming forward over the feet, so for their safety, and heading towards the outside ankle bone and imagining going down into the earth. And then coming up with your palms facing the sides and then to the front a little bit of your legs. And here we go again. So down towards the ankle bone, the outside ankle bone. Imagine going further into the earth and coming round, and your hands then sweep up what's like the corner of your thigh, the front corner of your thigh. And then down they go again. Connecting the outside ankle bone and the ring finger. Again, really good for the kidneys as well, to pump the adrenals like this. The little glands that sit on top of the kidneys. One more. And I suggest you finish with a few minutes again in this stance, with the crook of the index finger and the thumb in the elbow. Thank you.